only signed 3 days ago, the 18-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo is coming on for Nicky Butt.
Here he comes. Oh, he struck it well. Oh my word, what a goal! Who goes for goal? Oh, and what a goal! Here he comes. Oh my word! Goes to the near post. Ronaldo goes for goal! It's back across towards that far post. Good header! Goal! Why not have a go? He has done! Oh my word, what a goal! Bramall get it in. Ronaldo! How do you stop this man? He's reached 35 for the season. Cristiano Ronaldo, brilliant! That's why he's the world's best! Cristiano Ronaldo!
Summer of 2021 will go down in history as the time when the most successful footballers of the 21st century changed their clubs. Messi's surprising move from Barcelona turned out to be a real drama, and Ronaldo's return to Old Trafford seemed like a routine. By the end of the season, it had become obvious that CR7 was leaving Juventus. The only question was where he was going to. Manchester City were the main contender for Cristiano. The press reported that the sides had even come to an agreement, but in a couple of days the situation turned 180 degrees. Ronaldo did move to Manchester, but not City. United grabbed him, a club at which he grew to become a world-class star. Soon the English media discovered the details of the negotiations. It turned out that the decisive role in the talks belonged to none other than Sir Alex Ferguson himself. The Scotsman called Cristiano and his agent Jorge Mendes, and after that they rejected Man City. The Manchester Evening wrote, "As of morning, the only club interested in him were Man City, but then he talked to Sir Alex Ferguson." The Athletic, one of the most reputable editions in the world, confirmed this information. Ronaldo and Sir Alex have a very good relationship. No wonder Cristiano calls the Scotsman his football father. That's why his words and recommendations were decisive. Yes, this looks like a movie script, but that's what we like football for, isn't it? In this video we're going to time travel into the past for 15 years to see how Sir Alex was creating one of the best footballers in history out of a cranky and arrogant boy. Are you ready? Let's go then! But before we start, try and answer a question. There was a player at Sporting besides Ronaldo. He was considered even more talented, but he didn't live up to his potential. Who is he? Quaresma, Nani, Moutinho, Simão? Write your answer in the comments, and now we start. Love at first sight. In the beginning of the 2000s, Manchester United and Sporting signed an agreement concerning the swap of coaches. Thus, talented Carlos Queiroz arrived at Man United. He would have a great impact on Ronaldo's development. But first things first, it was him who turned Ferguson's attention to the talented young boy who had the potential to become a top star. Here's what Sir Alex wrote in his autobiography. Part of our agreement was that we would play against Sporting Lisbon in their new stadium, which had been built for the 2004 European Championship. John O'Shea was right back. The first pass Ronaldo took prompted me to howl, "For Christ's sakes, John, get tight to him." John shrugged his shoulders. A look of pain and bewilderment was creeping across his face. The other players in the dugout were saying, "Bloody hell, boss, he's some player, him." I said, "It's alright, I've got him sorted." As if the deal had been done 10 years ago. You're standing watching a game on a Saturday morning and you see a George Best, a Ryan Giggs or a Bobby Charlton. That's what I felt that day in Lisbon. A revelation. I told Albert, our kit man, get up to that director's box and get Kenyon down at halftime. I told Peter, we're not leaving this ground until we've got that boy signed. Sporting warned that Real had already spotted the youngster, but it was not a problem for United. The English club paid 19 million euros for the prospect, quite big money for that time. Besides, Ferguson had a private talk with Ronaldo to persuade him to move to Manchester. Arsenal also wanted to grab Ronaldo, but unlike Arsene Wenger, Sir Alex went all in, offering the Portuguese a place in the first team with no loans or adaptation in the reserves. Ronaldo was perfect for the 4-4-2 formation, which was so popular in the Premier League. For Ferguson, Cristiano was a replacement for Beckham, who had left for Real Madrid. Young Ronaldo was not as effective in crossing and set pieces as David, but he was way better in pace and dribbling than the English legend. However, Ronaldo's style was too straightforward. he exploited his talents just by dragging the ball to the sideline and trying to dribble past as many players as possible to cross it into the box. Back in those days, he wasn't even close to the goal machine he later became. In his last season at Sporting, he scored only 5 goals in 31 games. Ferguson obtained a great talent, but a lot of work was needed to make a great player out of him. Phase 1, 2003-2006. First thing Ferguson did was surprise Ronaldo with his trust. Cristiano was going to take number 28, he played in Sporting with that number, but Sir Alex insisted on him taking number 7. This was the number of the best United players. The effect was dual. On one hand, Cristiano understood that a lot was being expected of him, and he spared no efforts to improve his game and be as useful as possible. On the other hand, he became too confident, and the first couple of seasons he was showing off too often. He was trying to deceive several opponents at once, losing the ball a lot and holding for too long without noticing his teammates. It was difficult for the boy. He didn't understand the specifics of the Premier League, he didn't know the language well and had no friends in the locker room. But despite all these, Ronaldo had a great debut for Man United. He was subbed in on the 61st minute against Bolton when the scoreline was 1-0. He demolished the opposition defense on the right wing, driving the Old Trafford wild. The Red Devils won 4-0 and Cristiano received positive press. But it didn't go that well. Cristiano was mostly coming in as a sub, playing 29 games in his first season and scoring only 4 goals. He had hard times with goals then. It's hard to believe, but the Champions League top scorer didn't score a single goal in the tournament in his first 26 games. It's important to explain Ronaldo's role in his first seasons after he moved to Man United. They were using a classical 4-4-2 formation. Cristiano was playing as a right winger, and his duty was to move down the flank and cross the ball to the penalty box, or cut inside towards the center, giving space for Gary Neville. The Portuguese was spectacular, but not really efficient, losing his place in the lineup in the first season. Ferguson explained to Ronaldo that in the Premier League, tricks for the sake of tricks didn't work, and that he should have played more simply. Here's what Ronaldo recalled on this matter. At the beginning of my career, I had a Portuguese mentality. Too many step-overs, problems with decision-making. Ferguson explained that players in England are stronger and do not fall from light contact. He taught me everything. The next issue, finishing. Ferguson noticed that Ronaldo was talented enough not only to run down the wing and cross into the box, and together with Carlos Queiroz, they made up a new duty for Ronaldo. He received an opportunity to move deeper for the ball and run into the channels between the fullbacks and the center defender of the opponent. Neville's attacking grounds preserved the width of the attack, and United got an extra player in the penalty box. From that very beginning, Ferguson made Ronaldo set bigger goals and reach them. Right after his transfer, the coach made a £100 bet with the player that he wouldn't score 10 goals in that season. Next year, the Scotsman raised the bet to 15 goals. Ronaldo lost again, and only in 2006 did he manage to win the bet against Fergie. But such a method made Cristiano work on himself and aim to score more. Ferguson realized that he got what he wanted in 2006. At the start of the season, he set the same target, 15 goals in the season. Ronaldo reached the target by February. Also, Cristiano had to be weaned from simulations. Sir Alex saw the reaction of the stadium when the Portuguese was diving. He felt a decrease of reputation and the pressure that was put on other players who suffered because of Ronaldo's tricks. The simulations had been filled with the most severe methods. Darren Fletcher, the ex-United midfielder, told. Walter Smith, one of Alex Ferguson's assistants, decided not to give falls for Ronaldo in training. Ronaldo didn't know that. Nobody told him. So when Ronaldo was doing his skills, not passing the ball and taking the make, the lads were falling on him. For 2 weeks, Ronaldo was tearing his hair out and he was going bananas. His behavior annoyed Rio Ferdinand and Roy Keane. It was hard to change Ronaldo, but it worked. In a few months, we were all surprised with Ronaldo moving the ball and running. He knew there was no whistle for him, he's gonna be hit, so he didn't keep the ball for too long. Alex Ferguson later would accept the simulation problem, but at the same time, he justified Cristiano. The players were good with him in training, they helped him learn. At first, when he was tackled at Carrington, he would let out a terrible scream. The players would give him pelters. He soon learned not to make that kind of racket. His intelligence helped. He was a very smart boy. Once he realized the players would not be a willing audience for his screaming and amateur dramatics in training, he stopped. Over time, it erased itself from his game. In his last season, he overreacted a couple of times to earn himself a fall, but no more than anyone else. One aspect frequently ignored by his critics was the speed he moved at. You only need to tap a player going that fast and there is a tendency for him to go over. Human balance isn't refined enough to protect the runner from tipping over at an unnaturally fast speed. A whip prod into the side of the leg or an elbow into the body can disturb the equilibrium. The failure to appreciate that speed to balance factor was unfair. Actually, Ferguson had special relations with Cristiano. All United players of the time told about the famous Fergie fan. The coach was standing in front of a player and shouted in his face for around a minute. Even Rooney and Beckham went through this, but it was different with Ronaldo. Sir Alex did exercise his character, but without violence. Though there was an accident. In the halftime of the 2005-6 Champions League group stage match, Ferguson gave his star a scolding. Who do you think you are? You wanna play all alone? Then you'll never be a real footballer. That's what the witnesses remember Sir Alex was saying. Ronaldo burst out crying right away, but his partners were not going to comfort him. They knew that the youngster had to go through these to grow up. Throughout his whole career, Cristiano called Ferguson his football father and the best person he had ever worked with. Sir Alex got Ronaldo's loyalty thanks to his attitude. In 2005, Cristiano's father fell into a coma because of liver problems. Ronaldo asked for a couple of days break to go to Portugal, but Ferguson said, "You can have a whole week if you want. I'm going to miss you as you are very important to me, but the family is more important." Soon, Ronaldo's father died. They were never very close and Ronaldo himself said that, but the loss of a parent had its impact making the young player grow up. And Ferguson did his best to be, if not a replacement for his father, but at least a person who would send the player's energy and talent into the right direction. And it had an unbelievable effect. Phase 2, 2006-2009. The turning point in Ronaldo's career was the 2006-07 season, but it could have not happened, just like the 3 consecutive titles or the victory in the Champions League. There was a huge scandal at the 2006 World Cup. In the quarter-final match between Portugal and England, Ronaldo persuaded the referee to send Wayne Rooney off, and the 3 Lions lost on penalties. Cristiano was bullied in England. The press and the fans were just destroying him. The Portuguese was even afraid of going back to Manchester. Ronaldo later confessed that he was sure he was going to leave England that summer to avoid the unbelievable hate. This is where Ferguson stepped in. The Scotsman acted decisively and quickly. He talked to Rooney and convinced him to call Ronaldo and tell him that he didn't hold a grudge on him. And then Sir Alex held a press conference and ended the conflict. Cristiano and Wayne are good friends. It was the first morning of pre-season. They shook hands. There was no problem whatsoever. To be fair, Wayne is knowledgeable enough to know that on football pitch, anything goes. We had the same mentality at United. Cristiano was trying to win for his country. Wayne would not expect anything different and neither would I. The fans gradually let it go and Ronaldo compensated for that ugly story with his great game. Frankly speaking, Rooney saved Ronaldo's future at Man United, confessed Sir Alex in his book. But there was another aspect that helped Cristiano play on a new level, the departure of Ruud van Nistelrooy. The Dutchman was the team's top scorer, but his selfishness and his few abilities in the books were limiting the Red Devils' attacking potential. United was ready to be rebuilt and it all happened from one training episode. Van Nistelrooy never really liked Cristiano because he was playing all by himself and rarely passed to Ruud. The Dutchman was addicted to his individual statistics, that's why he got really mad. Once he took it out on Ronaldo after they collapsed on a match practice. What are you going to do? Complain to your daddy? Van Nistelrooy meant Ferguson's assistant, Krish, but Ronaldo had just recently lost his father, so he took his teammates' words personally. Sir Alex took Ronaldo's side, and Ruud was sold that summer. This gave Man United an opportunity for a rebuilding, which they took, and later dominated the Premier League for several years and won the Champions League final in Moscow. With Kerash's advice, United changed its classical 4-4-2 formation to 4-3-3, using it in most of the matches. Carrick, Scholes and Hargreaves played in the center, helping the team play more confidently with the ball and start lightning-fast attacks thanks to long passes. And the attack consisted of a super liquid trio: Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez. They swooped positions all the time, confusing defenders. It was impossible to predict which one of them would open up in the box, waiting for a pass, and which one would move to the wing, taking his marker with him. Thus, a couple of years before Guardiola's arrival to Barcelona, Man United had an attacking trio without an advanced forward, and they conquered not only England, but also Europe.
The highlight of that style was Ronaldo's goal against Arsenal in the Champions League.
Just a few seconds, just a couple of passes, and Man United scores after defending a corner. Pay attention to Cristiano's actions. He plays one touch and doesn't hold the ball. This is the result of Ferguson's work. Ronaldo was great thanks to the freedom he was given. He played from the right, left and in the center. He opened in the most different zones and attacked the opponent in the most unexpected moments. Here's what Gary Neville says about this. Ronaldo feels the smell of blood, looks for a weak link in the defense. If he can't be the left back in 15 minutes, he moves to the right. If it doesn't work either, he goes to the center. And sooner or later, he will find the one who can't oppose his speed or strength. Ronaldo collected a royal flush out of Ferguson's trust, Kerash's tactics and René Meulensteen's training. The latter worked with Cristiano for hours, turning him into a goal-scoring machine. In his first years at Old Trafford, the Portuguese was scoring in style, but very few. Meulenstein presented Ronaldo various tactical diagrams and visualizations of goals, divided the penalty box into zones, and drew sectors on the goals and made Ronaldo send the ball into each of them immediately after receiving the ball. The progress had been made.
In the 2005-06 season, Ronaldo scored 9 goals in the Premier League. Next season he scored 17. And later he even repeated the league record, scoring 31 goals in the 2007-08 season.
What I always thought about Ronaldo was that even if he was having a dire game, he would always create 3 chances. Every game. Look at all the matches. In the mountain of video evidence, you could not find one instance where he failed to create at least 3 chances, said Ferguson. There's another very important factor of Ronaldo's transformation into a world-class star. It's his attitude towards training and his own body. Ronaldo was one of the first footballers in the world to hire a personal chef in Manchester to have as healthy food as possible. Later he would hire a personal fitness coach, and his team of personal assistants would only be growing. In Madrid, Cristiano would make a gym in his house and would buy a super modern cryo bed to recover after hard training. Ronaldo worked out in the gym more than others, and after training he made one of the keepers stay an extra half an hour to work on his shots. Ronaldo's teammate, Patrice Evra, noticed his obsession with healthy lifestyle. I would give advice to anybody. When Cristiano invites you for lunch at his house, just say no. He said, Patrice, come over after training. I went, and I was really tired. At the table there was only salad and plain white chicken, so I was like, okay. And water, not any juice. We started eating and I was thinking some big meal would be coming after that, but there was nothing. He had just finished and he stood up and he started playing with the ball, doing some skills, and he said, let's do some two-touch. I was like, can I just finish eating? Ronaldo replied, no, let's play two-touch. We start playing two-touch. After that he said, let's go to the pool to swim. I was like, okay. After going in the jacuzzi, the sauna, I'm done. I said, Cristiano, why have we come here? Have we come here because we have a game tomorrow or just for lunch? So that's why I should recommend to anyone, when Cristiano invites you to his house, don't go. Just say no, because this guy, he's a machine. He doesn't want to stop training.
Parting.
Many people think that Messi uses his unnatural talent, while Ronaldo made himself thanks to his character and training. But as we've learned today, it's not completely true. Many people created Ronaldo in Man United, including Ferguson, his assistants, and his teammates. They told him to aim high, perfect his skills, and get rid of habits that stood on his way to success. Ronaldo's and Ferguson's ways parted anyway. In 2008, Ronaldo declared his desire to move to Real Madrid, especially after they announced the transfer. But Sir Alex talked Cristiano into staying at Old Trafford for one more season, after which he'd have no problems moving to Madrid. This helped Fergie save their main star and his reputation. Ronaldo couldn't refuse him. He respected his coach a lot, that's why he made no scandals and stayed for another season, bringing one more title to Manchester. And in summer 2009, he moved to La Liga for a record fee of the time, €94 million. Ronaldo and Ferguson parted ways, but their relations remained as father and a son for many years to come. Sir Alex worked with hundreds of great players, but Ronaldo stood out for him. And here's why. He was born to be the best. He sacrificed himself for that. Once we played Arsenal, it was raining the whole day, and I told Ronaldo, I know you keep working after training, but you shouldn't stay here now. Tomorrow's a game and it's wet here. The grass is soft. I went to my office and looked out of the window. You know what Ronaldo was doing? He went to the synthetic field. I had no more arguments.
"12 years and 118 days since his last United appearance. Ronaldo plays for the Reds again." He's gone 40 yards, he finds Ronaldo. Ronaldo reclaims his stage. Ronaldo likes the look of this. Oh, wow! Cristiano Ronaldo! Sure, useful, great header! Ronaldo! Of course, Ronaldo! Lingard, Ronaldo! Most appearances, most goals. It's Ronaldo! Corner from the right, the header!